Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Red Wolf Roundtable as we are on spring break. But there's been a lot of news in the late for Arkansas State Athletics. Tristan Harlan here with Cooper Motor, and let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, partner. Coach Hodgson's leaving.
Yeah, honestly, didn't expect it. I know if we made the NCAA tournament, March Madness, I feel like, why wouldn't he leave? But it's honestly why I don't understand the move. Like, I get going to USF, whatever it is. Um, it's in a bigger city. But Tampa's different than Jonesboro, but besides that, if you looked at USF just athletic wise, A State's way better. And A State's
Yeah.
in Jonesboro and they're in Tampa. We have more conference championships in football, more conference regular season titles in basketball. I mean, the move doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right. And then, of course, you're looking at it and looking at all the people who have entered the portal as a late. Names like Isaiah Nelson, Terrence Ford, Joseph Pinion, Darian Ford, not to mention the seniors that are leaving, like Taryn Todd, Kobe Julian, DeAndre Dominguez, Avery Phelps, and Zane Butler. But I guess the real question is right now is what does that mean for the A-State program as it stands on March 25th, 2025?
Well, I think maybe they're just putting their name out there right now, basically because we don't have a head coach. They want to see the offers they can get, the NIL money they could attract, and maybe some will follow Hodgson to USF. But I mean, when Bellato got fired, you had people put their names in the portal. And then when Hodgson got hired to Arkansas State, they then came back in. So maybe they're waiting to see, all right, who are we going to hire next? I know T Butters. I mean, I I could be wrong, but in my personal opinion, I wouldn't like the hire. I
Hmm.
mean, I feel like, we would have better success going out and getting a power. I guess it's a power four now, but getting a assistant coach kind of like we did with Hodgson. But still, the move is kind of shocking because besides the location, he's not going to a bigger, better place. And it doesn't
Right.
seem for USF, it doesn't seem like a smart hire. He's not going to be there long term. I mean,
Right.
his whole goal is to go. I mean, he was an assistant at Alabama. He wants to go get back in the running of the, you know, being in March Madness. He's not going to do that at USF. He might be able to make it, but Memphis runs the American Conference in basketball. I
That
mean,
is very true.
and we're seeing Memphis, yeah, they did so good in the American Conference. They coasted through, they make March Madness as a 5 seed, and then they get bounced first round.
Right.
With how March Madness is now, if he wants to have any success, he's going to have to go to an SEC school, go to a Big Ten, ACC, Big 12. He's not going to get that at USF. I'm not saying he would get it at Arkansas State, but I think if he would have stayed one more year at Arkansas State, he could have, I do believe he would have made the tournament and got that bigger job than USF.
Right. So you're looking at the coaching search, and you mentioned you wouldn't like to hire T. Butters, but walk me through that. Why wouldn't you like that hire?
I mean, Hodgson, he was, well, I never really knew of him before he got hired, but he was a bigger name. I just feel like T. Butters just, I don't, it would be good for, I guess, Jonesboro. It'd be the easier hire than to go out and look for somebody that would want to come here. But I just, he's just unfamiliar with me. I don't know how he recruits. I don't know his style of play and how he meshes with Arkansas State. I get he's an assistant, but I mean, I don't know if he's done everything yet to be promoted to that head coaching role. I don't know how he recruits. That's my biggest problem is we need a guy that's able to go out there and get big name players like Hodgson did.
Right. So looking at the coaching search, and I'm sure there's a long list of names that's on Jeff Purinton's list to contact, but two names that really got brought to my attention early was Kevin Keith from North Carolina that Will Wade replaced, and Rodney Terry that got replaced out at Texas. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a stretch to say those Power Five coaches are going to come down to the Sun Belt, but well, would you be happy with those names if one of them got hired? Are you familiar with them? I mean, what's the process looking like there?
I'm not too familiar. Wouldn't really. I mean, I'm not a. I don't like Texas, so. That,
I don't think
but I mean,
anybody does.
when, if he's winning here, I could care. That's all that matters to me if he's doing good. But I don't know. If for St. John's, for example, they hired Rick Pitino. They were doing bad. Rick Pitino, he had a long history. He got fired, and then St. John's hired him, and he's able to bring them to 2 seed. I mean,
Right.
maybe if we go after maybe one of those bigger names that, they had success in the past and, they're just not having success anymore at their current state. Maybe they need to come down a level. I would be happy with that. But I don't know. I feel like I want to say we have time to wait till March Madness ends. But at the same time, with how the transfer portal is now, we don't really have that much time to wait for a hire. We need to go after it fast. I feel like that's why people are saying T Butters, just so we can get a head coach at Arkansas State and go right into the portal right away. But
Right.
I expect a hiring no more than 2 weeks because the way the portal is, the way recruiting is now, you don't have time to wait around like you used to, where you could fill out your options and everything like that. You got to go from the get go.
Right. And here's the thing. I saw a report. It said over 700 players had entered the transfer portal up to this point. But you got guys that have technically declared for the portal that are still playing in March Madness right now. So I don't know what the portal is going to look like this year. When it comes to star power, I know Isaiah Nelson and Terrence Ford, they entered it when Coach Bellotto got fired. Coach Hodgson got hired. They withdrew their name, and we're not sitting here saying, ladies and gentlemen, that these players that are entering the portal are gone. I mean, they could very well come back within the drop of a hat. But my thing is, and what we're going to have to look at from now up until I guess May, when we kind of go hands off with the show and we pass it on to the next generation of guys, is that okay? Who is going to be the hire? Are they going to bring in a whole new staff? Like, for example, if T. Butters comes in, gets elevated to head coach, is he going to bring in a whole new list of coaches, or is he going to keep the same old, same old? But I think I think the number one priority for Arkansas State men's basketball right now, outside of hiring a head coach, is figuring out a way to keep Isaiah Nelson on the roster. Because let's be honest here, Isaiah Nelson's probably the best talent they've had on the roster since Norchad O'Meara. Now, I know some people may consider that a stretch, but when you see how much he elevates the crowd at First National Bank Arena, how much he elevates the offense when he's on the floor, how much he elevates the team when he's not on the floor and he's coaching from the sidelines. I mean, it's definitely going to be a time tell that can Arkansas State right the wrongs that Coach Bellotto initially wrote when he lost Norchad to originally Miami, then he ended up going to Baylor. But I guess where we need to talk about this conversation is going is what about Darian Ford and Joseph Pinion? I mean, those two guys, they were electric from beyond the arc. Those guys both came in from Arkansas. Coach Hodgson's now gone. Do you think they may try to go back up to Arkansas, or do you think they're going to try to go somewhere else in the SEC? What do you think about those two guys?
I feel like the one player I feel like we have the best shot at keeping is Pinion, in my opinion. Um, from the Ford, what he posted, it looks like he's out. I don't think
Yeah,
they're gonna go back to Arkansas. Um, I feel like maybe I could see them going to a smaller ACC school, possibly. I don't. My thing is Ford's production. He's it's kind of inconsistent. He has a stretch where he's good, and then another stretch where he's just kind of non-existent. Same with Pinion. He'll have a stretch of games where he's lights out from three, and then a stretch of games where he just not able to knock down a single shot. But I mean, I feel like Pinion's the one guy we could possibly keep if we make the right hire. But I mean, if we make the right hire, we could see Isaiah Nelson coming back and everything like that. But another question, these players, I mean, we're just going to have to wait. But another question I really want to bring up is how long has Hodgson been thinking about this? Because we lose the NIT and then the next day he's gone. Like, was he even focused on the game? I mean, you brought up senior day where he was saying, don't believe anything unless you hear it from me, this, and that. And then he doesn't even put out a statement yesterday.
Right.
It's up
Right.
and gone. So that I don't know if he was gone, like, was he gone at senior day? Did he already know, like, no matter what, I'm leaving? Or, I mean, he took shots at, I mean, there's a post where he went on a podcast saying, going off on A-State fans, saying that
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if he's going on a podcast or a radio show, I saw this on Twitter, but if he's going on a podcast or radio show calling out A-State fans saying, don't, they're saying I'm leaving, blah, blah. If he's getting that defensive, then I feel like he's been kind of in the process of leaving for a while now. I mean, it's kind of everything's a little fishy to me.
Right. And here's what I'll say about that. And again, I brought this up to you and others, but and it's very
What
true to
I'm sorry for cutting you off,
no,
but
no,
do
you're
you
good.
remember exactly what he said on senior day because you brought it up?
I my memory's fuzzy, so I'm gonna have to try to go back and see if there's video footage of it somewhere. But
Mm-hmm.
he basically said something along the lines of how he loved the culture in Jonesboro, how he wants to build a winning culture through the community, how they've been such a hands-on experience with the team, and a whole bunch of other stuff with the donors, the six-man club, and all, and so on and so forth. But my question is okay, yeah, I get money talks. I mean, let's be real. If you and I were in the situation where we're coaching a Division One basketball team and a team comes along and says, "Hey, we'll give you, let's just say, for example, 65% more of what you're getting now," we would be dumb not to take that. So I'm not sitting here saying Hodgson taking the deal at USF is a bad move for his career. What I'm saying is he's almost tarnished his legacy at Arkansas State. And what I mean by that is you've got people on Twitter when the news broke that he was going to USF, even before when he was rumored he was going to go to UNLV, if you had people tweeting at these players saying, please don't leave, please come back. And look, I'm just going to say this, and I could be in the wrong here, but don't tweet at players to come back. I
Yeah.
mean, that just sounds desperate, and it looks like a desperate plea to get your 15 minutes of fame, if that. But my problem with the move is that you like you mentioned, USF is not a better school. The location, sure, that's a better location. I mean, I know a lot of people that would rather be in Florida than Jonesboro, Arkansas. Hint, hint, winking at you, partner. Um,
I do not want to go to the crappy city of Tampa.
but uh, but what I'm trying to get at here is that for a guy that was so well bent on community and building an organization from the ground up and wanting to escape NATO to shadow and wanting to build his brand of basketball. It seems like you mentioned fishy that he left after year two of back-to-back runner-ups in the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Because let's be real, he didn't win anything. He did not win anything at Arkansas State. He got a share of the Sun Belt Conference regular season trophy this
He got
past
a
year. Yeah, he got a four. He did not win. He did not outright win anything. And then he loses in the NIT. He loses in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. Last season, he loses in the CBI. He loses in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game again, thanks to Freddie Hicks even getting him there. But the question becomes, and somebody brought this up to me, and I'm going to bring it up to you, is that I wonder if somebody in athletics, and I'm just going to say, I wonder if somebody in athletics pissed him off that said, okay, you're going to play this game. I'm going to go here and do my thing here. Because, I mean, let's be real. In the world of athletics, I've seen this, I don't know how many times, but emotions play a key factor in what coaches do and what players do. I mean, and I'm not going to mention any names of anybody that's done one thing or done another, but it's definitely something we're going to have to look at is that did somebody in athletics, and I'm not saying they did somebody in athletics cause the change of scenery for Hodgson? Because I don't think I don't think he leaves Arkansas State after saying all this stuff in front of the fans, in front of media people and all this. Now I could be wrong. Coach Hodgson could be one heck of a politicker. I don't know. But what I do know is that for a guy who sat there and said, Jonesboro is home, Jonesboro is home, I love Arkansas State, I love the community, I love how well everybody's put together here, it just seems odd that he jumped ship immediately after the NIT.
Yeah. That's why I don't think somebody in athletics pissed him off necessarily. Um, I feel like this is why I said it's fishy. I feel like he said that during senior day. I feel like he's been trying to cover stuff up, in my opinion.
Right. Okay.
That I feel like maybe somebody in athletics may have found out and he was like, I gotta get out of here before they can it gets leaked. There is something going on. He wanted to cover it up. I mean, as a head coach, if you're going on to a radio show to attack people on Twitter for saying that you're leaving, that's a, I mean, as a head coach, you should not even worry about that. You should be worried about your next game. Like, you shouldn't be worried about if some dude on Twitter goes post saying, "Hey, Hodgson's probably leaving," and then
Right.
you go on a radio show calling them out, and then you go to senior day and be like, "Don't believe blah 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 whatever." I love the culture here at Arkansas State. Blah, blah. I mean, if you're that defensive, then there's something up. Like you are, you're hiding something. That's why because I mean, I saw this on Twitter last night. Someone said the team looked unprepared in the NIT game against North Texas. They looked out of sync. So, and then they lose, and the next day they get back, and he's like, "Bye, I'm going to USF." I mean, I get they could be offering him more money, more NIL to work with, but how long is he going to be there? Is it worth going there for maybe 2 more seasons just to leave? Because, but like we said this entire episode, the location, yeah, it's an upgrade from Jonesboro. Okay. But besides that, if you look at USF basketball, they went, they had one good season last year, and then they've just been losing season after season after season. I mean, they haven't been good. Their football program's nowhere near good. The last time they were good was 2007 in football. I mean,
Right.
athletics there is nowhere compared to Arkansas State. And we're
Right.
doing, and you could talk about, well, the recruiting wise and Tampa's be better. Okay, we've had this much success at Arkansas State, way more than you have, and we're in Jonesboro. What does that say about the school? What does
Right.
that say about their athletic department? So if he's leaving just for money, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm in college. I would love to get paid all that money, but success wise, what would set you up for the next big step is not going to an American Conference team. If it was Memphis, okay, they have success in basketball, they have that history, but USF, they don't have any history of basketball. I mean, you think of USF, you're just like, okay, South Florida. Where the heck is that at?
Right. And I do want to just point it out real quick because I've been kind of refreshing Twitter while we've been talking just to see if anybody else goes in the portal. And Terrence Ford just tweeted out, I want to thank the A-State community for everything these past few years. The long lasting relationships and memories is something that I'll remember and keep forever. Jesus, his font colors. After talks with my family, it's best that I enter the transfer portal. Thank you, Jonesboro, for everything. He's gone.
Yeah, they're saying thank you, Jonesboro, for everything, because I'm trying to remember when they entered the portal when Bellotto got fired, if they posted anything like that.
I I could be wrong, but my memory, if my memory serves me correct, I don't think they did. I just think they said, "Hey, we're going into the portal." Didn't say thank you, Jonesboro. Just said, "Hey, we're going into the portal," and then like 3 weeks later said, uh I'm coming home, or I'm staying with the team,
Yeah,
or so on and so forth. But something else I want to point out is that, you know and again, I could be in the vast majority that does not think about this, but I want to go back and look and see if Hodgson ever put a house in the market in Jonesboro, because I don't know if he ever bought a house or if he was running a house, but looking at the outside of basketball perspective, I mean, finding a house in locations is not easy. I mean, yeah, you may have a guy that's going to look at them and says, "Hey, here's this location. It's X amount of miles away from the arena. This is a good spot for you and your family." But I don't recall ever hearing of him entering his house on the market, because that's public record. That's 100% public record. Like, hey, if you're going to go sell your house, you know, you have pictures of it, whatever. Now, I'm sure a lot of people didn't want to share that information because it was private. Coach was still living there probably when he put it on the market. But, excuse me, the logistical nightmare of that, from going from losing to what, 1 point in North Texas. If you're, and that's another thing. If they were not focused and they lost to one against North Texas, then they should have won the Sun Belt Conference championship. I mean, that's just kind of crazy to me. But
yeah,
but going back to the outsider of basketball perspective, I mean, we're getting up there where we're fixing to look at our own housing and look at apartments, houses, or whatever. Of course, you're going to be looking at more stuff than I will be, but consider your situation. But I just think the fact that nobody even start wanted to say, "Hey, Hotson's put his house on the market," or "Hey, Hotson's thinking about Lee," or there's just something there that's not lining up.
that's why I feel like he's covering everything up. I mean, we talked about on the show, this team looked completely different and then had a complete collapse. Did he know during the regular season that he was leaving? I mean, we're talking about this team, they were doing good and then they just lost it.
Yeah,
And I mean, we were up 9 in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game with 5 minutes left to go in the game. 5 minutes.
yeah,
And completely collapse.
yeah. That,
So I don't know. It's kind of a little fishy. Maybe the locker room knew something. Because
well, there's something there that we just don't know, because I think immediately after the game, I think Kobe Julian posted his highlights from the game, or from the season. DeAndre Dominguez posted that entire picture of them in First National Bank Arena on Senior Day with a red heart. Isaiah posted it. Terrence posted it. I'm not sure if Darian posted it, but all these players that were gone or leaving started posting these pictures like, "Hey, you know, we're gone." But I just think, I don't know. I think that where it sits right now, and things could change when we get off here, when tomorrow comes, when we get back to Jonesboro from spring break. Which also, by the way, thanks everybody for doing this during spring break.
yeah,
Kind of makes it hard to do stuff like this, but thank you for joining the Zoom. I know you're on vacation right now and with everybody,
yeah,
um but I just, looking at it, there's something there, and I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist now, but there's something there that we're either overlooking or not seeing, because Something had to have happened.
No, that's something happened. I'm sure it will. Everything eventually gets brought to light. Will it be from, like you said, a week from now, a month from now? I mean, it's gonna come out. Questions are gonna get asked. Someone's gonna slip up. Something's gonna get leaked. It's only a matter of time. But all I know is whoever we hire, they need to go talk to Coach Rogers and the women's basketball team and say, "Hey, you lost an entire team. You rebuilt them and brought them to the NCAA tournament. Take a play from her book. I mean, ask her what she did, and maybe we need Coach Rogers to help out with men's recruiting because obviously she knows what she's doing."
Well, yeah, and look, I don't even want to get into the women this week
Yeah,
because I still need to just refresh and cleanse my memory and get a accurate topic together for that because I don't want to say the wrong thing because that program means so much to me. But something of note, just real quick, is that St. Francis, they've announced that they're going from Division 1 to Division 3. So with the
hmm,
way the portal is looking and the way coaches are jumping ship in the beat of an eye, maybe in the next couple years you see Arkansas State take the jump to D2. Not saying they will, not saying they
that,
will,
that's a
but
stretch.
it's something to look out for. Now, again, I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying I
Yeah,
want them to, but it's just something to keep your eyes on because I think what this is the second time men's basketball has had somebody poach from their program. And by poached, I mean, just talking about the Norchad situation where he was going to come back. Hey, I'm back. And then he all of a sudden enters the portal, goes to Miami. And now Hudson's like, hey, let's run it back. Let's run it back. I'm here. Don't believe anything you're hearing unless it comes from me. Now he's gone. So I don't know. What I do know is that I'm still waiting to see what Hodgson's going to say if he says anything to the Arkansas State fans.
yeah. I mean, I feel like best thing for him would have been to put out a statement last night. I mean, him waiting, I guess he could be getting told by his agent or whatever, be like, "Hey, wait," but the athletic statement of Coach Hodgson leaving was fishy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's
Every
something there.
Yeah, and my thing is with the ACC or and the Sun Belt is not the ACC, the AAC. Um, with Hodgson, if we do bring in another talent, can we keep affording 2 good years and then, okay, I did this good, I'm gonna leave now? Like, is Arkansas State gonna have to be like Memphis, where they're constantly ranked where it's worth for them to stay in the Sun Belt, where we don't have to win the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament? Or is Arkansas State going to have to eventually get enough money to make the next jump to a bigger conference to where it's worth staying at? Because looking at it with football and basketball, we can't afford to lose a coach every 3 years and
Right.
build a brand new team. I mean, we're never going to be successful. We're never going to do what we want to do athletic wise at Arkansas State. If
Yeah,
that,
and
like, is the Sun Belt the long term goal, or are we just going to have to fund money, get everything? I mean, people have said we have the best football facility in the Sun Belt. I mean, we're not behind on that. I mean, baseball could do some work, but I mean, we've seen it where other sports are in different conferences.
right.
It's going to have to be one of those where maybe football and basketball takes the jump to the next conference. I don't really know how that works, but if we want to have success and keep coaches around, that might have to be that's what we're going to have to do, I feel like, because like I said, we can't afford to lose a coach every 2 years.
Yeah, no, 100%. And, real quick before our time runs out here, because I don't pay for Zoom. Sorry, I'm cheap.
I'm
Um,
with you.
but and one thing I will like to say is that, and this is a credit. and you know, I'd never do this, but this is a credit to Butch Jones, okay? This man came from Tennessee, Alabama, Cincinnati, all these places, came to Arkansas State. He had two awful years. Third year he was decent. Fourth year he was okay. He's still here. He has not jumped ship at all. I don't even think he's entertained thoughts. So hats off to you, Coach Jones, for staying around at Arkansas State. I don't know if it's because your name's in the word of the town or if, you know, you truly believe in Arkansas State athletics, but I ain't wearing the hat right now, but hats off to you, my pal. I mean, I don't know. Basketball,
We say
football are
that
two
until
different things.
we
What?
say they go 10-2, and he's like, "See ya."
Yeah, yeah, for real. But you know, I don't know. I know they're two different sports, two different entities, but the NCAA, and this is going to be my last thing, but the NCAA cannot expect these mid majors and these, I guess, G5 schools to build a program if Power Five schools or even other G5 schools are just poaching their coaches after 2 years or players leaving every year. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be a rule in place. I think there should be within the next couple years, but it's bad for the NCAA for these smaller schools to have to worry about year after year after year that their coach is going to get poached just like that, and their players are going to go into the portal just like that because their coach leaves.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need a athletics needs to hit up the Pac 8 or whatever it is right now. And be like, hey,
Yeah,
how would you like Arkansas in it?
right. Because I mean, you know, right now I'm not saying the Sun Belt's a bad spot for Arkansas State. It's probably the best spot right now, but
Yeah,
there's got to be some kind of change, and there's got to be some kind of change soon because for too long the entire collegiate athletic world is going to look completely different, and I mean a complete 360 difference than what it did, you know, 5, 10 years ago when we were growing up watching these games, watching March Madness when Derrick Rose was in Memphis and Mario Chalmers was in Kansas, and you know, you had the 2007 college football season, how crazy that was, and the first year of the playoff, the first year of the BCS national championship, and all these moments and all these memories and all these familiarities with stuff. It's gonna end and it's gonna die if, you know, the NCAA doesn't step in and say, hey, you know, kind of like you had brought up to me in a group chat about, you know, sitting out a year or doing something different because I mean something's got to change and it's got to change now.
yeah. I mean, the portal's out of control. They need to fix that. They need to wait till bowl season's over to where you can transfer. They need to wait till March Madness is over to where you can announce that you're going into the portal or you're leaving as a coach. They need it's simple fixes too. It's not like it's rocket science. It's
Right.
okay, let's wait till after the college football playoffs is over and the national championship game is over. The day after, if you are a head coach, you want to leave to a different school, then that's when you do it. If you're a player, you want to enter the transfer portal, that's when you do it. Same with the basketball. Wait till the national championship game is over and then announce it. Wait till the basketball season's just completely over as a head coach and be like, okay, I am leaving Arkansas State and I want to go to a different school. Like, it's simple fixes that the NCAA can just say, okay, hey, let's do this. But, you know, they're a corrupt corporation and all they care about is money. And, you know, nothing's going to change.
Right. Well, Cooper, we got about 5 minutes left. You got anything else on the current situation of Arkansas State athletics you'd like to get off your chest?
Uh, Hodgson did too. He brought some life back to basketball here at Arkansas State, but you know, not going to be cheering for him at USF. I mean, I'm not going to be wishing for success for him there. I'm going to
Right.
be like, I'm a D1 hater, so hoping they're bottom of the American Conference and Memphis beats them by 50 every year.
Right. Well, hey, go Tigers, go if that's yeah,
Yeah,
if
tell
that's the
Jake
case.
Brewer.
Yeah, tell Jake Brewer we're going to be wearing that Memphis blue every time they play
Yeah,
play USF. But
yeah,
Cooper, again, just that I want to thank you for jumping on the Zoom call. I know
of
you're
course.
spending time. with Courtney down there in Florida and her family. But again, can't wait to see you back in Jonesboro for Red Wolf Roundtable. We've got probably 3 episodes left, 4 episodes left,
Yeah.
before we sign it off forever and give it to the next generation of knuckleheads that want to bring along the Red Wolf Roundtable brand. But brother, I love you, and I hope you have a great trip. Enjoy it. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Red Wolf Roundtable, the special Zoom edition for Bryan Hodgson leaving Arkansas State Athletics. And we're going to sign off, say goodbye, and see you guys next week in the ASU TV studio for some more Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU TV.